Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tanner Stewart. This is Melanie Levy. As we told you this weekend, Michael Kimbrell, a community activist, was handing out meals to the homeless after dark at MLK Plaza when he was confronted by Pensacola police for being there past sunset.
And this is not the first time something like this has happened. Last year, Dan Lindeman, the owner of A&J Mug Shop, says he unknowingly broke the law by just crossing the street. An officer told him to leave the park and that he could face a misdemeanor charge for being there after sundown. But Lindeman says it's not a park. This is a median that plenty of people walk across on a daily and nightly basis. This is an issue the staff at City Hall has known about for more than a year.
The city wants to have walkability and vibrancy and all this stuff, and yet they've got an ordinance that says the main walkway going down to South Palafox is closed at sunset. And then they put lights all over the trees and they invite people to come down, and yet their ordinances, you can be charged with a misdemeanor for being on a sidewalk.
Tonight at 6, I'll have more on what Lindeman wants to see the city do to address this ordinance.
The nation's largest rental company will pay more than $20 million over claims they deceived renters. Greystar owns more than 950,000 units across the U.S., including a few in our area. The Federal Trade Commission says Greystar missold consumers by advertising low rent prices, then adding mandatory fees at the end of the sales process. It has to do with RealPage, a company that provides an algorithm to set those rent rates. Now, Greystar owns 2 properties in Escambia County. Commissioner Mike Kohler says he wants to find out how much residents were impacted, if at all, in our area.
The problem is, I don't think you should do algorithms to price fix these rents. It's like the same things we see after hurricanes when people jack up the generators and the gas and stuff, and then people can't afford it and they just can't survive. I'll be interested to see how much the algorithm and what the algorithm actually does to price fix what they should be and what they are.
Tonight at 6, hear how Greystar responded to the $24 million total settlement and more questions from the commissioner.
Well, a Gulf Breeze woman is facing criminal charges after a series of phone calls. The arrest report says Susan Holmes first called a non-emergency line complaining of a neighbor shining lights into her window. The report says she was told it was not a violation and it did not meet the criteria of an emergency. Well, over the next 2 hours, the report says she called 911 7 times, harassing and cussing at dispatchers. Holmes is charged with misuse of 911 services.
A 63-year-old woman charged with trying to rob the Regions Bank on 9 Mile Road in Ensley. This arrest report says Gwendolyn Brown walked into the bank Wednesday with a note demanding $16,000. The report says she gave conflicting stories about family members being threatened by someone her husband owed money. A bank employee told deputies Brown never showed a weapon, didn't threaten anyone, and never left the bank with the money. One witness who knew Brown said during the attempted robbery, she didn't seem like herself.
A school resource officer in Santa Rosa County is finding a new way to connect with middle schoolers. The program is called Dine with a Deputy. It's already changing how some students see law enforcement. A few times a month, one student at Sims Middle School gets an invitation to lunch with Deputy Anthony Jordan. And instead of the cafeteria, they meet in his office, sharing a meal and building a connection.
And they have lots of questions, but they won't really open up. So I felt that I needed to figure out a way to build some trust, and I needed something personable. I had never thought of this before, but I thought I need to do like some one-on-one lunches.
Coming up at 5, hear how the community is getting involved now to help continue the program.
The city of Milton rescheduling holiday festivities because of weather. The tree lighting ceremony and Blackwater Pirates Boat Parade have been moved from this Friday to December 12th. The event includes fireworks and a holiday market as originally planned.
Alan, how's it looking out there? It was kind of freezing this morning. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, well, you got to catch the forecast, right, Tanner?
Yeah, that's all I watch at home, Alan.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was cold though. No, it was cold this morning, and it's been a cool day all day long. And the cloud cover, it's like we had it, then it cleared, and now the clouds are coming back into the skies, and that's what we're going to see. And we're going to be watching for rain that's going to be moving into the area here over the next couple of days. So hang out with us right here on WAR News at 4, and we'll run the Futurecast, and you'll see what the timing of that rain looks like. But But here are the skies as seen from the Hardee's Live Beach Cam, which is on top of the Hilton out at Pensacola Beach as our sun is going to be setting. And as we look at our temperatures here heading through tonight, yeah, a little chilly, no doubt, Melanie, as we're looking at temperatures 40s. And then we may actually see things change a little bit overnight as the clouds move in. Sometimes the weather could actually warm as you head through the overnight hours. We'll see how things go. But either way, I'd look for temperatures tomorrow morning to basically be in the 40s. You know, as we take a look at our numbers here, we're expecting that. You know, it's along the immediate coastal areas that we may see a little surge of brief warmer air in the area. And then throughout the day tomorrow, yep, rain is back in the forecast. So we're going to time it. We'll take it hour by hour with the Futurecast.
Thank you for that, Alan. A Pentagon watchdog report concludes Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth risked exposing sensitive information that could have endangered U.S. troops.
ABC's Christiane Cordero reports the investigation followed a group chat with several unauthorized people invited.
Today, a Pentagon watchdog concluded that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth risked endangering U.S. troops by exposing sensitive information in a group chat on Signal earlier this year, according to two sources familiar with the group's now completed report. The Defense Department's Inspector General concluded the information Hegseth put in the chat was properly classified by U.S. Central Command before he shared it with his colleague's wife and inadvertently a reporter from The Atlantic who was accidentally added to the chat. The conversation revolved around the U.S. attack on the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen in March of this year. Hegseth immediately denied the chat shared any war plans.
Nobody's texting war plans. I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what we're directing, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished. The successful missions that night and going forward.
In the backlash, then National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was moved to a new role as UN ambassador after it was determined he added the reporter from The Atlantic magazine to the chat by mistake. He was the only administration official to face any consequences. On the Inspector General's report, sources tell ABC News Hegseth refused to sit down for an interview as part of the investigation, but told the IG in a statement he insists that because he has the power to classify and declassify information, he acted within his rights. The report may add pressure on Hegseth, who's already facing scrutiny over a second strike that killed suspected drug smugglers off the coast of Venezuela in September, which some legal experts say could be a war crime. The admiral overseeing that operation is set to speak with lawmakers behind closed doors tomorrow. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
It's a busy weekend at Five Flags Speedway. Race officials preparing for the 58th annual Snowball Derby. The race draws professional drivers from around the country. This year's NASCAR racers participating. Kyle Busch and Eric Jones, both two-time winners. The campground's already filling up. Some races, drivers we spoke with say that this is a race they look forward to every year.
We've run the series with them for a couple years now, and this is always the biggest prestigious race. It's always been the end of the year race for them. So being a part of that and being running all the season, just wanting to be a part of it.
The green flag for the event drops Sunday, December 7th, 1 p.m. Track owner Tim Bryant here with us in studio today. He can fill us in on some last-minute changes they're making because of this weather we're expecting.
Now, the 16 teams in the Women's NAIA Soccer Championships are now down to 8. This was a day off from the competition, but for their Teaming Up for Character initiative. The ladies go into the community to do good and to make an impact.
I think it's very special to be able to participate in a community like this. I definitely feel privileged to be able to attend university and be able to study what I want to and go into the career path that I'm looking at and all of the things, and I do recognize that that comes with privileges, and so the ability to give back to the community, even in a small way, I think is definitely a valuable experience.
Tonight at 6, Sue Strawn shows us the project the ladies took on to make a difference right here in Pensacola.
Coming up after the break, immigration crackdowns moving into 2 new cities, including New Orleans.
Plus 5 years to the next U.S. Census, the call for Florida businesses to get involved, improving the response.
Download the WEAR News app now, sponsored by Forrest Jordan and Associates.
First Warning Weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.
Look now at the Pensacola Bay Bridge. Traffic flowing smooth today. No major wrecks to know as of right now. That sun's going down though. The earlier or the closer we are to that 4 o'clock hour. So just use caution as some of you start to head home for the day.
A report from the Florida Chamber Foundation is urging everyone to fill out their U.S. Census forms in 2030. The foundation saying Florida lost billions of dollars in federal funding after the 2020 count. The U.S. Census Bureau says an independent estimate of population found Florida's population miscounted by around 750,000 residents. The foundation's report says because of the undercount, Escambia County lost around $131 million, Santa Rosa County $47 million, and Okaloosa County $81 million. The Florida Chamber now encouraging business leaders to get involved and improve messaging about the importance of the census.
The Department of Homeland Security announced the start of the anticipated immigration operation in New Orleans today, dubbing it Operation Catahoula Crunch. Meanwhile, a new immigration and customs enforcement operation in Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota is also set to begin. Ivan Rodriguez reports officials say the target undocumented Somali immigrants.
As anticipated, the Department of Homeland Security launched a federal law enforcement surge in New Orleans, Louisiana, dubbed Operation Catahoula Crunch by the agency, named after the officially recognized state dog of Louisiana.
We're talking about child pedophiles who are on our list of targets, burglars, gang members, rapists. Those individuals we are highly targeting, and we will continue whether it be 5,000 arrests or beyond.
The Trump administration's latest immigration crackdown was prompted by the shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. New Orleans Mayor-elect Helena Moreno says fear has swept across the city.
What they're seeing is what appears to be racial profiling of brown people, and then going after these individuals and treating them like they are these significantly violent offenders.
Activists say there's worry in the community. And as a new ICE operation unfolds in Minnesota, targeting undocumented Somali immigrants, according to a federal official, President Trump ramped up attacks against the community amid an investigation into allegations of pandemic relief fraud in the state up to $2 billion.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin defended the administration's targeting of Somali immigrants, citing data showing fraud.
There's widespread fraud, particularly marriage fraud when it comes to immigration. We're looking at criminality here.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
22 days till Christmas. Deadlines to get gifts packaged and shipped are fast approaching. The Postal Service recommends sending first-class mail and ground packages by December 17th, priority mail shipments by December 18th, and FedEx recommends shipping between December 17th and the 23rd for home delivery by Christmas Eve. Or you could pay extra for overnight service. UPS recommends shipping packages by December 19th for 3-day select. After that, choose second or next day air for delivery by Christmas.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electrical. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
Pretty nice looking view here from Portofino as we're checking things out, looking down toward Navarre Beach. It looks nice now, but everything is changing, and I want to go over what we're expecting here over the next several days because we do have a high rain chance in the area. First, though, temperatures cool, low 50s right now, and as we look at our overnight lows, mainly 40s here for the area, and then during the day tomorrow, high temperatures are going to be rising up. Looks like on the cool side as well, getting into the 50s here for tomorrow. So right now, the weather's all dry. Blue color on this map indicates where we've got a little bit of snow, and then you can see not much happening here across the northern Gulf Coast, but that will be changing with a weather maker running through the area. Radar, you see a little bit of green there. That's just radar being on a sensitive mode, looking out for stuff, but we don't really have anything happening at this very moment. But watch our future cast as we take this hour by hour, and I'll kind of hit some key points here as we take a look. So tomorrow morning, I would be ready for rain first thing tomorrow morning, and then it's likely to continue to be off and on throughout the morning hours. And then at times it may even pick up and get a little heavy here as we get into the afternoon. You see these pockets of orange and red and yellow, so some heavy rain possible tomorrow afternoon, and it just continues into tomorrow night. A washout of a day expected here. And then on Friday, as we look at the morning hours, this shows a little band right here moving through first thing on Friday morning here, and then during much of the day, a lot of cloud cover, but not really looking at rain returning until Friday night. This is according to our Futurecast. Now, of course, all of this can change, but a lot of times it's pretty good with these weather makers, especially this time of the year. So there you can see Friday night, rain rolling back into the area, continuing through the late night hours and continuing right on into Saturday morning and right on through the morning hours as we view this. So our rain chance is super high. Severe weather outlook for tomorrow. Blank map, we're not in it, meaning we're not expecting any bad weather, just rain. Severe weather outlook for Friday, same thing, blank map, not expecting bad weather. That may change as well, we'll let you know if it does, but that is a gray looking day tomorrow with cool weather all day long tomorrow. As we check out our coastal conditions, we've got a low risk of rip currents right now with winds shifting around, though that can change. In fact, our Seatow Marine forecast brings seas back up to around 2 to 3 here for tomorrow. Let's check out the Hardee's Beach Cam view. Hilton at Pensacola Beach is where we have it. It is looking pretty calm and nice down there, very tranquil as we view that scene. So wet pattern here for the next several days, and not only is it spilling into Saturday, but it's kind of dominating Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with these high rain chances. I mean, 70–80%. Those percentages might even be a little bit on the low side here. So we see a little fluctuation in temperature, not much. Sunday's weather should be dry. Most of that should be out of here by Sunday, so we'll call it a mix of sun and clouds and a high of about 65 degrees, and that'd be good news for the Snowball Derby. As we look ahead to next week, it looks like it will mainly be dry.
The WEAR First Warning Weather App, sponsored by Murray Jewelers.
All eyes on that weather this weekend. Race fans filling up Five Flags Speedway. Snowball Derby begins in Pensacola. Heavy rain, though, in the forecast. Organizers are shifting some of those plans. We'll get to that. But first, let's talk racing. Here now to talk about the race, some of the schedule changes. Track owner Tim Bryant. Tim, thanks for being here.
Hey, my pleasure.
58th Snowball Derby, is that
58th. Right? It's unprecedented for a short track like we have here in Pensacola, Five Flags Speedway, to run a signature event for 58 uninterrupted years. We've had lots of things happened over that time period, but this community supported the event, and we've been fortunate to be able to have it every year.
I know I tell you this all the time, but when I got down here and first moved into the area, the Snowball Derby is one of the big ones you hear about, especially coming from East Tennessee. A lot of race fans I grew up with know about Five Flags. How do you keep it going? How do you keep the interest up?
Well, listen, it's, of course, it started in 1968. A lot of signature drivers, came and
Dale
run.
Earnhardt, one of them, right?
Dale Earnhardt was run the race. An interesting story about that is he had to leave us immediately after the race, asked someone to stop and pick up his prize money because he had to go to work on Monday morning. So obviously that was the early part of his career.
Wow.
But that's a fun story to tell, and it's a true one as well. But some marquee drivers have been through and continue to come, and it's been a stepping stone for up-and-coming drivers.
No
and, of course, our local racing scene has got a lot of flavor as well.
What are you looking forward to this year with the drivers? Any new drivers out there? I know we've talked about a few.
Well, I tell you, we have just a stellar list of entries. And, of course, we're looking for a first-time possible three-time winner. And that could happen with a couple of different people, Eric Jones being one of them and Kyle Busch being another.
Multiple two-time winners in the race.
There is. So, and of course, it's been a while since we've had a back-to-back winner. Last year, Caden Honeycutt had a very popular win, and he's going to be a contender this weekend. Yeah. And, of course, then you have your favorites, your Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nassies, who've been trying for so long to get that Tom Dawson Trophy, and maybe this is their year.
These guys, what's the feeling like if they don't win? I mean, every driver comes into this race expecting to win, right?
Well, I mean, they do, and the preparation that goes into this event is just unprecedented, really. It's unlike any other race, and I'm not sure why, other than the prestige of that Tom Dawson Trophy, as I mentioned. It's a hard race to win, and a guy really feels like he's achieved a major accomplishment if he can win it. So, I think at the end of the day, if a guy goes home and he finishes second or 36th or anywhere in between, he's immediately planning for next year to try to get back and get that trophy.
I tell you, man, it's just so electric when you drive by Five Flags and you look at an image, or we're lucky enough to come on the track sometimes. When you see what actually goes on the other side of that wall, I mean, it feels like the big time.
Well, I mean, listen, this is a big time event, and a lot of things have contributed to that.
Yeah.
But the national exposure that we have, the race will be streamed live on Flow Racing.
Cool. Okay.
There'll be hundreds of thousands, if not more, eyes on the race on Sunday. Our advance reserve tickets have sold out and have been sold out for a better part of a month. We'll be selling general admission tickets at the gate.
Okay.
So we'll have a full house, there for the race, and then of course, a lot of eyes on Pensacola for through the stream.
Without a doubt. Let's talk about the weather, though. I know that it's an unfortunate thing, but you got to think about it as the leader of the race here in the track.
Well, you know what? We've had some beautiful weather here. We've had a beautiful fall here in Pensacola, but we really needed some rain. The timing is not real good for us. However, you know, we know that we're gonna press on with our schedule. We've made one adjustment already. Our Modified of Mayhem Tour event that was scheduled for Friday night after pole position qualifying for Sunday's race, we've went ahead and postponed that. Reason being, we had a lot of those drivers that come for that event that was traveling a long ways, and with the weather forecast like it was, we just went ahead and moved it to Monday. So they'll travel over the weekend and then run their race without having to spend extra days in town.
Snowball Derby still right now is on track.
Obviously,
to race Sunday.
we have all of these races we consider main events, but obviously our main event is Sunday, and the weather looks good for that, so we'll make all preparations to get that race starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. The Alan Turner Snowflake 100, this year the Alan Turner Snowflake 125, and a little extra flavor for that, is scheduled for Saturday night. That's a huge event. We've got over 70 cars entered in that, and they've come from all parts of the country to run that Alan Turner race. So, you know, that one's highly important. We'll see what the weather gives us, and then obviously we'll make some adjustments, but all the races will be held at some point.
It's the 58th annual Snowball Derby coming up on Sunday. A lot to expect in the days leading up to that. Owner Tim Bryant with us today. Tim, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, my pleasure.
More news after the break. Despite holiday travel, gas prices seem to be dipping. A look at the factors affecting what you're paying at the pump. Vaccine advisors to the CDC are considering a major change to the childhood vaccine schedule. It would delay the hepatitis B vaccine that newborns receive by weeks or even years. The advisors were all handpicked by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy has long spoken out against the use of vaccines. Earlier this year, he said giving the hepatitis B vaccine to babies is motivated by money, not health concerns. Infectious disease experts say delaying the vaccine will drive up infections and deaths from the disease.
For decades, maybe even longer, teachers have ordered children learning math not to count on their fingers. But new research questions that whole approach. A study that followed 211 children from pre-K to second grade found many students who started using their fingers stopped on their own by age 6, and they outperformed kids who never even used their fingers. Researchers conclude there is no reason to discourage young children from using their fingers to solve math problems.
I'm national correspondent Kayla Gaskins on Capitol Hill. Coming up, what law enforcement experts are telling Congress needs to happen to prevent future deadly targeted attacks in the wake of the shooting of 2 National Guardsmen just blocks from the White House.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. President Trump wants to roll back fuel economy standards put in place by the Biden administration.
The rules required car makers to improve the miles per gallon for their cars. Model years 2027 through 2031 would have to increase efficiency by 2% each year. The big beautiful bill gutted enforcement of the standards. Now the Trump administration wants to revert back to model year 2022 standards, saying car makers would have to improve 0.25% each year.
Consumers looking for a merry and bright spot in their budgets this holiday season, they can find it at the gas pumps.
Karen Kafa joining us live from Washington today with a look at what's driving prices to their lowest levels in years. Hi, Karen.
Hi there, Tanner and Melanie. It is very rare these days that consumers get a pleasant surprise when it comes to their spending, but just in time for the holidays, gas prices have dipped below the $3 gallon mark for a significant portion of the country. Florida and Alabama are already there. The trend may continue, analysts say, into the new year.
A holiday treat for drivers.
We haven't seen gas prices this low since 2021, and we could continue to see that trend as we head into the holiday season.
AAA said the nationwide average for a gallon of regular gasoline dipped below the $3 mark this week for the first time since May 2021. And in some states, the average is even lower.
You've got high supply, lower demand. You've got a lower gasoline blend that's cheaper to produce. You combine all of that, you're going to get lower gas prices.
The major driver of gas prices, crude oil prices, has dropped significantly. In December 2022, 10 months after Russia invaded Ukraine and destabilized the global oil market, U.S. oil prices were around $81 per barrel. Lately, they're hovering around and below the $60 mark.
Crude oil prices this year have been relatively stable and relatively low. When you look at the national average across the board, starting in January of this year, it's been pretty much a flat line all year long, and that's very rare.
Both the U.S. and OPEC have upped their oil production in recent months, adding more supply to outpace demand. Another contributing factor, most pumps right now are filled with winter blend gasoline, which costs less to produce. And with the exception of the busy winter holiday periods, overall demand typically falls during winter.
Analysts do expect the gas any unforeseen circumstances like a disruption to refineries, for example, or any unexpected swings in the global oil market. Tanner and Melanie?
Karen, some analysts feel gas prices could stay low well into next year in 2026. What's behind that projection?
Yeah, that's because Wall Street expects that crude oil prices will stay low and go even lower into 2026. That's because there's a lot of oil being produced right now. OPEC had upped its production and it's hesitant to scale it back just because there's so much competition right now. Supply is well outpacing demand. The U.S. is producing oil at record levels, and other entities like Canada and countries in South America have upped their production as well. So what analysts expect is that crude oil prices will continue to go lower. JP Morgan Chase expects that globally the price of a barrel of oil could go into the 40s, dip into the 40s. Lower prices for consumers.
Karen, if you can hear me, gas prices are falling, but the price of a new car is not. If you're over there, what does new data tell us about shopping for a car right now, versus waiting for the new year?
Well, Melanie, the bad news is it's really not.
We apologize for the technical difficulties.
But they're expected to bump back up again.
Karen Kay for joining us live today. Karen, I think we had some slight technical difficulties there. A great report as always, and we'll see you soon. One of the country's largest retailers is suing the United States government over tariffs.
It's Costco taking its case to the U.S. Court of International Trade, saying the president overstepped his authority by imposing fees on imported goods. The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments last month in a similar case filed by small businesses. Experts say even if the high court rules against the tariffs, refunds likely will not be automatic.
Costco is trying to ensure that if the court rules that those tariffs were unlawful, that it will be in line for refunds.
There's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody.
The Federal Reserve reports affluent consumers are still buying luxury items while low and middle income Americans are actually cutting back on discretionary spending.
2 wrongful death lawsuits filed today in the aftermath of that deadly UPS crash in Kentucky. The lawsuits allege the company kept flying older aircraft without increasing maintenance beyond what's regularly scheduled. The crash happened during takeoff after the plane's left engine detached. The lawsuit also names General Electric, which made the plane's engine. Both UPS and GE say they don't comment on pending lawsuits, but safety remains their top priority.
The crash of a U.S. Air Force Thunderbird is now under investigation. The F-16C Fighting Falcon went down today while training in California. That crash just south of Trona Airport near Death Valley. The pilot ejected, the Air Force saying the pilot is stable and receiving care.
In the wake of the deadly shooting of 2 D.C. National Guardsmen, Congress held a hearing Wednesday to examine the issue.
National correspondent Kayla Gaskins reports data shows rising attacks on law enforcement nationwide.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The House Homeland Security Committee meeting Wednesday on Capitol Hill to examine the surge in threats and violent attacks on law enforcement at the local, state, and federal level.
What we are seeing today is unprecedented in scope and intensity.
The hearing comes as concerns are growing that political anger over President Trump's crime crackdown and immigration policies is increasingly being taken out on the rank-and-file officers and agents who enforce them, such as the shooting of 2 National Guardsmen in D.C. last week.
Those who wear the badge are human beings
whose dedication to safeguarding our country should never make them targets.
Last year, 352 law enforcement officers were shot in the line of duty. 50 were killed. The Department of Homeland Security data shows an 1,100% increase in assaults and violence on ICE agents.
Calling officers Nazis and Gestapo, it better stop right now. You are inflaming dangerous circumstances.
Like this from Texas Democrat Jasmine Crockett.
When I see ICE, I see slave patrols.
Also, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz comparing law enforcement to Hitler's secret police.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
And this from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
I do not invoke the specter of Nazis lightly. I'm watching with a foreboding dread what is happening in our country right now.
There is no Nazis acting in the law enforcement community of this country, and we are certainly not living in 1939 Germany.
Democrats pushing back on the mostly one-sided criticism of Wednesday's hearing by bringing up the violence of the riots at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, 2021.
Their statements about protecting police officers are hypocritical.
Law enforcement experts say these threats add to existing recruitment and retention challenges and pose serious national security concerns. On Capitol Hill, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Point your camera at the QR code on your screen to answer our question of the day, which is, should there be the death penalty for killing a law enforcement officer? You can also head to our X or Facebook page and let us know what you think.
Yesterday, we asked you support increasing the size of the Supreme Court. 87% of you said no.
First Warning Weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.
Well, 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 the cold is in, Alan, and now the rain's coming back. What do you think about that?
Oh my gosh, I had to bust out my fur coat last night.
You won't need it long, but it's that time, isn't it?
Yeah, you need the raincoat as well. It's going to be cool and rainy at times here over the next couple of days. High pressure keeping it calm now, but we'll lose that. Low pressure and a weather maker will run through the area, changing everything up. As we take a look at our amounts here, we're looking at this is running through tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Join us for WEAR News at 10 every night. We're looking at potentially around an inch, and it looks like those amounts maybe a bit on the higher side for the coastal areas, but still rain everywhere is what's expected. Then as we keep going forward in time, let's take it on into Saturday morning. This is showing, over 2 inches of rain for many spots. That's between now and Saturday morning. So just look for really potential that we'll see a few inches, maybe even several inches of rain as we head through the next several days, as it is going to be a bit of a washout. We talked snowball derby. The weather on Sunday actually looking better, but the rain will be in and out here over the next couple of days. So we've got a soggy pattern with a lot of cloud cover in the skies. Overnight 40s, 50s for highs tomorrow, 60s for highs on Friday.
If you're looking for something to do indoors, St. Christopher's Episcopal Church holding their Christmas caravan Friday from 9 to 4 and Saturday from 9 to 3. They'll have arts and crafts, a bake shop, and concessions. It's a 69-year tradition at the church, located on 12th Avenue, 2 blocks south of Tehar Drive.
And coming up, getting a good night's sleep, what your employer could do to improve your rest.
If you are a caregiver this time of year, the holidays can be a little extra stressful. I'm Liz Bonus, but we all need to know to sort of give ourselves a little care as well. It is just ahead.
Everyone, we're taking a look now at the Escambia Bay Bridge. Things are moving pretty fast over there. Doesn't seem to really be any traffic building up, but as the sun starts to go down earlier, as Tanner said earlier, just exercise some caution when you're heading home from work.
Thank you, Melanie. The holiday season may bring added stresses for people serving as caregivers.
Liz Bonus shows us actions that may help turn down some of the pressure.
Hey there, everybody. If you're a caregiver, the holidays can be a bit extra stressful, which is why those who specialize in caregiving support remind us to reset a few expectations. One of those expectations, that the holidays are about making everything perfect for everybody else.
If you are a caregiver, in order to properly care for someone, you need to be sure that you take care of yourself.
Shannon Couch says that means as a caregiver at the holidays, don't be afraid to let others know how they can help you. Can they give you the gift of time, help you order things you need, or reach out to an agency on your behalf that can support everything from respite care to home remodeling.
And we encourage our caregivers to do that all the time. We advocate for them to advocate for themselves, and that's not always an easy task.
And speaking of tasks, second expectation to reset, that you can do or get done everything you usually do this time of year and take care of someone else. For example, maybe you're usually the chef, but what about finding a meal support with organizations such as Meals on Wheels, or even asking friends and family if they can help with cooking or food costs for a loved one and for you?
Right now, we know that the cost of food is high, and so sometimes just providing those own services for yourself can be a challenge.
Finally, it's suggested you reset holiday traditions if needed, from house guests at the holidays to buying gifts. Setting these boundaries, Shannon says, can put a protective bubble around you at a time where you really need this as a gift to yourself. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing and Electrical. Here is Chief Meteorologist Alan Strum.
Oh, clouds are coming back into the skies. As you can see, this view is from the Island House Hotel, Orange Beach, Alabama, as the sun is setting there. Everything pretty calm around those Gulf waters. That's going to pick back up, though. We've got an area of low pressure. It's going to be rolling right along the northern Gulf waters here, and that's what's going to be causing our rain. So I'm going to break that down for you. First, our temperatures are cool, though. Mostly low 50s at this hour right now, and as we check out the overnight lows, do plan for mainly 40s. Not as cold as this morning, but definitely a chill will continue to be in the air all night long. And then during the day tomorrow, looks like high temperatures just getting up into the 50s here for tomorrow. Snow well on up toward the Midwest. Dry weather here, a little bit of rain back toward Texas, snow out toward the Rockies as well, where you see the blue color on the map. And what we've got is just cloud cover returning to the skies, and then rain should start to develop here as we head into tomorrow morning. Let's run Futurecast and let it tell the story. So I'd look for rain at about any time tomorrow morning. I mean, it could be first thing in the morning, even before the sun comes up, and then it'll continue to be off and on throughout the morning hours. And then this shows pockets of heavy rain approaching and moving through during the afternoon. And what I mean by the pockets of heavy rain, or when you see these yellow and orange and red spots on our map, it is looking like a very wet day tomorrow. Plan for a washout of a day tomorrow as we roll on into tomorrow night. Same thing, some heavy rain at times. And then moving into Friday, it shows a little band of rain first thing in the morning, and then it shows mainly cloud cover throughout much of the day with rain returning on Friday night. I'd be ready for it anytime during the day on Friday, but this is showing more of an early event and then a Friday night event, and then this continues into Saturday morning. Watch, lots of color on our map here indicating rainy weather for Saturday as well. Severe weather outlook for tomorrow and for Friday, not including us, so we're not expecting any bad weather. It looks like that area of low pressure will be just far enough south that we don't need to worry about the warm front coming on shore and bringing us a severe weather threat. We'll watch for any changes, though. But rainfall totals are likely to be a few to several inches here between now and Saturday. So we already had some rain earlier in the week, and we're going to just pile on top of that here for the latter part of the week. So tomorrow's forecast just looks wet at about any time during the day tomorrow. All right, let's check out our coastal conditions. There's a view from the Gulfarium WeatherNet camera out at Okaloosa Island. Looks like it's quite nice down there. Beautiful, cool afternoon in that part of Okaloosa County. And we were seeing green flags flying at Santa Rosa Island due to a low risk of rip currents, but things will be picking back up a little bit as we head through tomorrow. Here's our Cito Marine forecast. We always check the coastal conditions, even though this is the time of the year. It doesn't impact as many people, but we'll be looking at a northeast breeze, and we're going to be seeing a change in the winds here over the next couple of days with low pressure working its way around the area. All right, let's check out the view from the Hardee's Beach Cam. Hilton at Pensacola Beach is where we have the camera. Yeah, pretty calm down there as well at Santa Rosa Island as the sun is setting right now. But the clouds will remain in place all night long, and we've marked our rain chance at 70 to 80%. I mean, it really is likely to be higher than that as rain is just expected to be off and on here for the next several days. And certainly for tomorrow, it looks like it's going to be more on than off. A washout of a day, so I'd have the rain gear ready tomorrow. Bottom here shows our normal high and low temperature for this time of the year and today. And you can see, obviously, we are running below normal here with these kinds of temperatures we're expecting. But Sunday looks like the weather will improve.
Thanks, Alan. Economic stress and job concerns can create a vicious cycle tied to home life. A study funded by the Defense Department analyzed sleep quality for full-time service members. Researchers found financial stress links to insomnia and lower sleep satisfaction, and that lack of good sleep turns into daytime fatigue and other work issues. The study concludes employers can lessen economic pressures by improving pay and benefits and offering flexible schedules. Individuals can also take small steps like limiting screen time at night in order to get better rest.
Chime in, sponsored by Florida Power and Light.
It's Wildlife Wednesday. How about this video? Share your pictures and videos. Text WEAR TV to 95577. They fell in love and ran out of town. Look at that. Look for the Chime In page. It's on our website. A holiday wonderland in miniature. The family sharing their tradition with the community right here on the Gulf Coast. It's the 9th largest jackpot in the history of multi-state lotteries in the U.S. We'll have the winning numbers for you on WEAR News at 10.
Are you going to go buy a ticket?
Oh, I'm going to try. I know my better half will convince me to before the night's over. That's for sure. We might win it tonight.
There you go. Yeah, will I see you tomorrow if you win?
No, of course not.
All right, well, before computers, a lot of people knew you could make pictures with the letters and symbols on a typewriter. And now a young artist has discovered the benefits of old school typography. James Cook is getting millions of views on social media as he types highly detailed images. Wow, those are incredible. And those online clicks now pay for him to focus on this art full time. Over the last 11 years, Cook says he's created more than 350 typewriter pieces, each one taking from 2 weeks to 2 months and more than 500,000 keystrokes each. You think his fingers get tired from all the typing?
Unbelievable. I mean, you think about the practice too.
Yeah, that's
how much,
crazy.
I mean, how many, you know, I would love to see the prototypes and the practice that he put in to get, how in the world do you even,
what would happen if
I
you
don't
messed
know.
up?
Yeah.
Because you can't backspace, right?
Oh, wow.
If you mess up, you got to start a whole new one.
Truly a gift. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
You ever used a typewriter?
My dad had an old one. I've like touched it a couple times, but I've never actually typed anything on it.
I have a Lego typewriter as far as I've come. A Christmas village is taking shape inside Fort Walton Beach City Hall. Growth Management Director Tim Gibson and his family set up the display in a vacant office. Their family tradition dates back to the 1980s, and this year they decided to share it with the community. The exhibit contains more than 1,000 pieces, some purchased, others handmade. You can check it out weekdays between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m.
That's so cute. I love that.
Love the Christmas villages.
Maybe if I squat, I can see it. I'm a little too tall to see it from standing.
Just wait, Melanie.
We have to squat and see.
It's going to become a tradition. Every January we'll get snow. So
no, please don't say that. Please don't say that.
We might get our own little
oh my
winter
goodness.
village.
Not looking forward to it.
Listen to the real weather experts out there for accurate forecasts, folks. We'll be right back with a look ahead to WEAR News at 5.